Kakuto Chojin, Fighting Superheroes, aka Back Alley Brutal, is a Japan-developed fighting game for the Microsoft Xbox One. I mean the first Xbox. I mean original Xbox. Why call the new one the Xbox One? Ooh. Kakuto Chojin was developed by Dream Publishing, a partnership of Microsoft and Dream Factory. That Dream Factory, which brought you Guys, Tobal No. 1, and The Bouncer. Not a surprise then that this game is a washed out and muddy mess, runs incredibly slow, and is about as much fun to play as the roll of the dead horse in a Beating of the Dead Horse sketch. To call this game a game is incredibly generous, as it started life as a tech demonstration of the Xbox's true graphical capabilities, known then as Project KX. If you look between the dirty pixels and the stained standard def demeanor, you can actually see some pretty nice effects, and I'm not just talking about the breast jiggle, though that too. Eventually, the call was made to turn this mediocre showing of the Xbox's power into a full game for the Xbox system. The result: crippled, shattered, and left to die, though not only on account of its poor quality, it seems. It's a one-on-one fighting game, kind of like Tekken or Dead or Alive, but nowhere near as well constructed or playable. This is in part due to the team being made of ex-Tekken developers. So that's why the environments are as dull and lifeless as those in Tekken 4. I knew there had to be a reason for it. Dead or Alive is probably the closest in terms of similarity though, because Kakuto Chojin goes for a slower, more methodical approach to attacks. However, without anything even remotely resembling DOA's triangle system, it feels more like that NES fighting superheroes game, rather than the high-stakes brutal combat that it's actually trying to achieve. I mean, why play this when you can just play that bootleg and, you know, you got Sonic vs Goku, take my money. The single-player content boils down to naught more than a story mode, a versus mode, and a survival mode. Play one mode and you've played all three. And for a story mode, there sure isn't enough story in it. You get one shoddy FMV at the end of what is basically the arcade mode, with an English and Japanese plot dump about what happened. Even if this game was given a proper chance to be good, it just doesn't deserve one. What do I mean if it was given a chance? Well, do you remember when Ocarina of Time released with those Islamic chants and the game was altered before the later release? Well, that happened again with Kakuto Chojin. The background music for Assad's stage contained an Islamic chant, and rather than remove it, knowing full well there would be controversy, Microsoft instead said they'd remove the Quran passage, and then didn't. The game released, the expected outcry happened, and the game was eventually pulled off shelves worldwide. So the very limited USA run of the game is just that, very limited. You're actually looking at a fairly hard game to get here. Though in my case, my copy is the Japanese one, which is a bit easier to come by. Either way you slice it, the game is kind of uncommon, and made valuable by the fact that it's sort of like a contraband thing. It isn't, but like, that sort of makes it collectible. I know better than to play part of Assad's stage music in this video, but even before I knew about this, just playing this stage, I could tell instantly that these were Islamic chants. Microsoft didn't even try to hide it. They had plenty of time to strip them from the game, having obviously heard the chants and given them the go-ahead during development. How do you make such a grave error and leave it in? They even released the Japanese version 3 months later with the chants intact too. It's plain freaking dumb. So like I said, they removed it entirely from stores. If you have a copy of the game, you've got something that's kinda valuable. Microsoft said, "As a company, we value and promote diversity and remain sensitive to cultural and religious backgrounds." The character is also a devout Muslim and says that defeating him is against God's will.
Yeah, well done, Microsoft.
We apologise for the mistake and have taken all appropriate actions to rectify the matter. The most appropriate action would have been either to stick to their guns and not give a shit about offending people, or reissue the game with the chance removed. Taking the game away completely is kind of crap, but I guess it managed to quell the controversy. That, and if they didn't, the Saudi Arabian government was going to take action. Yeah, if I was Microsoft, I'd be shitting in my tighty whities too. There isn't much to say about Kakuto Chojin that can't be said in this sentence. Carbon copy of other tournament fighters, but without the soul or passion. That's right, there's no commitment to making a great product here, there's no polish, no draw. Take Tekken 3, released on consoles in '98. To this day, its stylized graphics, excellent gameplay, and the developer's commitment to crafting a beautiful and endlessly replayable product make it shine above and beyond the other games in the genre. Kakuto Chojin, on the other hand, is just avoid this. For collectors only, I wouldn't wish this game on my worst enemies.